This is very good for them, and they will get certified, and they'll get credit for it as well. So the age group, I'm not quite sure what the age group is. What are the age group you can target? 16 years old and up. So anyone interested, please have your kids call that number, 928-228-8032, or just have them call me, 623-271-0984. What it's doing, it's a nonprofit organization. Ooh, I got a minute and 33 seconds. It's a nonprofit organization called Shattered Wings Foundation. And it was put together by veterans. And we have a program for the veterans, sir. And this one is called Foxhole Command. This one actually helps. Let me finish this and I'll let you know. This, the Shattered Wings Foundation, is created in memory of the youth whose lives have been shattered. The Edward D. Tuttle JetX Academy is a free program for individuals of any age who want to learn more about aviation career, and it includes a deferred program as well. So if y'all are interested, I'd go for it. There's nothing to lose, is there? So then we come to the Foxhole, 37 seconds. Foxhole Command Emergency Financial Assistance, which is another program that was put together. And this one actually provides financial assistance for military veterans, for their families, and first responders, first care receivers, and it provides, if they need food, if they need rent money, if they need mortgage money, just give us a call and we'll send you through the process so you can be helped. You can stay in the community and be useful instead of being outside the community, not being useful. Ooh, I'm done. Thank you very much.
So thank you.
I'll hobble back.
And because these are non-agenda items, we're not allowed to discuss anything about them, so that's why you don't see any discussion going on. Our next one will be Steve. Would you come and state your name and your address, please?
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Aller. I'm just a 803 Stirrup Drive, but I'm kind of just concerned citizen here. I just want to speak about the capabilities that are currently underway at the airport and currently in existence. Foxhole Command is obviously providing a veterans lounge and some really extended veteran services. However, the Edward G. Tuttle Foundation is also developing a veterans lounge up there. They've purchased fuel storage tank capacity, an exceptionally nice fuel delivery truck with high volume multi-nozzle capacity that would be really beneficial for military aircraft that are passing through. And they are also in the process of refurbishing and acquiring the first certifiable airport fire engine. Just want to say it's a golden opportunity for some needed expansion at the airport, and there's a lot of people would benefit. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And our next on a non-agenda item is Mr. Bell. Dave, would you come up and state your name and address, please?
David Bell, 722 West 16th Street in Safford. Mr. Mayor, members of council, thank you for hearing me. I'm organizing an event. I'm moving an event from Thatcher to Safford next year. I'll bring you the application at the appropriate time, I promise. And in doing so, I did some checking on business licenses and saw that the city only has two, a permanent business license for $50 and a temporary business license for $50 as well. The city clerk explained to me that temporary license is for contractors, those that are here for a finite period of time but slightly more extended than a day, like a vendor. So what I would like to propose to the city is a temporary vendor's license. I would propose $25 for a finite number of days, say 15 days per year. That seems to be about the number of days we hold events in the city, between the various events, Spring Festival, Harvest Festival, Cinco de Mayo, etc. And if anybody wants to vend for more than that, then they could just get a permanent business license, a $50 license. Whether that was 15 days in a calendar year or the fiscal year, whatever would be easiest for the city to manage, I think organizers would find vendors more willing to come to the city with a slightly reduced fee in hand. I know I'm already planning that as part of my vendor fee if you moved forward with a lower temporary license. So that is my proposal. Thank you again for hearing me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Bell, we appreciate that.
Can we keep moving forward on this, or?
Let's get that at our,
Okay.
we talk about our announcements, okay? So let's go on into, item 7, which is our public hearing. We're gonna go ahead and open up the public hearing, to discuss the, Curtis, property rezone. John, you wanna go ahead?
Give me 1 second while I pull up. All right, and that's the map of the area. Good evening, Mayor, members of council. The Planning and Community Development Department is in receipt of a rezone application for Mr. J. Curtis for Graham County Parcel 101-29-010F. The rezone is to change the zoning from manufactured home development to R2 multifamily residential. Parcel is 36.44 acres and is located east and north of 1272 East Hollywood Road. Purpose of the R2 multifamily residential district is to provide for suitable and appropriate multifamily housing in the appropriate locations. The neighborhood meeting, which is required for this activity, was conducted on July 21st, 2021. All homeowners within 150 feet of the property were notified. There were several members of the public that attended, and their concerns range from stormwater runoff to putting a fence around the perimeter of the property. The Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed the application on August 16th, and they unanimously approved the rezone request. And staff is also recommending that council approve the rezone request. And again, Mr. Curtis is here if you have any questions.
So this is a public hearing. Public, you have an opportunity, and I move pretty quick, so if I don't hear from anybody, I'm gonna keep on moving. Do we have anything from the council?
That's a good idea.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and close the public hearing and reconvene into our regular meeting. We're going with item 9.1, ordinance 021-11, Curtis rezone.
I move we approve ordinance 021-011, the Curtis rezone.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 10.1, resolution R21-025, 20th Avenue IGA amendment. Yes, you need to read that in. Go ahead, sorry. Told you I was going fast, Hannah.
Ordinance number 021-011, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Safford, Graham County, Arizona, to actually a map amendment rezone of Graham County assessors parcel number 101-29-010F from the city of Safford and HD manufactured home development district to city of Safford R2 multifamily residential.
Thank you. Lance?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request to authorize by resolution R21-025, the mayor to execute an amendment number 2 to the IGA with ADOT in connection with the construction funding of 20th Avenue street improvements from relation to Golf Course Road, and staff is recommending authorizing and entering into this agreement with ADOT. You're all familiar with what this project entails. ADOT bid this project on July 9th. They actually awarded it in August. So this IGA amendment and the next IGA was taking care of funding this thing and covering the shortfall we have. So with the construction bid of $4.4 million, with the construction engineering and admin costs and a 5% contingency. The total cost was almost 5.2 million. The CE cost will cover the cost of ADOT to oversee and administer this construction of this project, and the contingency will account for any unseen costs that arise during the construction. There's a lot of numbers here. I don't know if I want to run through all these, but if you remember right, the amendment number 1, when they bid the project, we had a shortfall on the estimate. I came and asked for the shortfall on the estimate. The actual bid came in a little bit higher. So this amendment number 2 actually covers by resolution the shortfall from the construction bid with the contingency costs and C&E costs in it. But it also recognizes that we had Senate Bill 1820 that appropriated the $1,032,000 of state general fund to the highway projects in the amount of $1,032,100. Our CIP estimated that at $532,100, but Senator Gowan actually got us that another $500,000 on there. These funds were appropriated for this project. So staff is recommending approving this amendment to go ahead and authorize funding the project, and then the next IGA will actually attack the IGA with ADOT to acquire those additional $1 million in funds. Do you have any questions on these numbers? I know there's a lot there to decipher. Does it make sense? Any
I'll move
questions?
we approve resolution R 21-025, the 20th Avenue IGA agreement number 2.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The second one is a request for the mayor and council to authorize by resolution R 21-026, the mayor to execute the IGA with ADOT in connection with the funding of 20th Avenue street improvement projects. Staff is recommending authorizing entering into this agreement, and as I stated, this is Arizona Senate Bill 1820 appropriated the funds from the state general fund for highway projects to the city of Safford in the amount of $1,032,100 for repair and maintenance of 20th Avenue. This IGA authorizes ADOT to retain the shortfall of $679,135 of the appropriated funds to the project and per the IGA amendment number 2, and then issue a warrant for the remaining amount of $352,965 to the city.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do you have any discussion on resolution 2126? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brings to resolution R 21-27, sister cities. This will be Mr. Holschel.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request from the Mayor and Council to adopt Resolution R 2127, a resolution declaring the city of Cananea, Sonora, Mexico to be the sister city of the city of Safford, Arizona. Background on this is that the City Council of the City of Safford has expressed the desire to improve the communications between the city of Cananea. Government officials from Cananea have visited Safford and expressed a desire to improve communications as well. Also, there was a mixer a couple months ago in which the mayor from Cananea joined us with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and our mayor, where the discussions for sister cities took place. A lot of interest was, there was a lot of interest in the idea, and so this is just staff's bringing forward the idea in a memorandum of understanding.
Any discussion? If not, I'll move we approve resolution number R 21-027.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, Mr. Holschel. Brings to item 11, contracts and agreements and bids.
So this is also my item as well. This is a request for the mayor and city council to award and accept a bid offer from LDG Real Estate LLC in the amount of $20,000 for the West Cottage Street property. The city owns property at 4 West Cottage Street in Safford that is a vacant lot. The property has had an appraisal conducted, and this was the minimum bid and only bid for the property. This is the highest bid that we have received on the property. It meets the appraisal price and appears to be a fair offer. And I also gave you guys all maps to help aid in where that is, and I'll share.
Mr. Hochul, this property was originally purchased for, I wouldn't say purchased, but if I'm not mistaken, this property was kind of seized and was told that we could possibly use it as a retention pond. I think there's been a lot of stuff that's happened since then. Can you share that with me?
I don't know in terms of the retention pond. I'd have to talk with Lance about that.
Because if I'm not mistaken, is this property that was in dispute numerous years ago, quote-unquote, the cat house?
Yes, you're right, Mayor, and
And
this
so
is,
how was,
this-
we took it down, and then we said that it was for a reason, and now we're saying, no, it's no reason anymore, we can just sell it?
well, I believe it was acquired for the destruction of the building, and there was a thought there that could be used for retention, but it is at the upper side of that subdivision, so everything drains to the west, and this is at the far east, so there's really no way to get drainage to this property.
Okay, so this is not for drainage then?
No, everything goes to the west side.
Go ahead.
We, during our rain time there, I went through there because there was concern about the drainage in there. And just to the west, when you go into that cul-de-sac, there's a fairly good ramp, and as long as the gates are managed, it seems that the water flows out of there fairly well, and then underground all to 11th Street. And I think it functioned well once the gates were opened. Because it did back up a little bit, but for the most part, the drainage, it's one of the oldest neighborhoods we have, and it seemed to function well with what existed. And I'm glad that you did supply this. For a while there's so many nicknames for different neighborhoods and stuff, I thought you were talking behind Court Street there and stuff, so I'm hoping that you make this part of the record, Tammy, and it gets inserted in there for future reference.
Mayor, Councilman Lopez, yes, I did give a copy to Tammy as well, so it'll be hopefully put in the record. You can see actually on the picture, it does say Colonial Village, even though the address is Cottage Street, so there is some confusion with the property.
Entertain a motion?
So moved. Excuse me, Mayor,
Yes.
he's asking.
John?
As a point, Colonial Village is the street that leads into
Right.
there.
I have a motion. Need a second.
Second.
I got a motion, a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 12.1, purchase of a backhoe. Lance?
Mayor and Council, this is a request to approve the purchase of a Caterpillar 420 XE backhoe from Empire Machinery. This will be a cooperative purchase with accordance with the City of Tucson RFP 161534 Omnia Partners. The City of Safford Street Division currently has two 2005 Caterpillar 420 backhoes that are continuously being used, and one of these machines has outlived its useful life, has become a maintenance problem. This machine was purchased in 2011 for $36,900 with almost 5,000 hours on it, and was given 10 years and has given us 10 years of service and an additional 2,000 hours. Empire Machinery has completed an inspection report of this machine and provided a trade-in value of $21,400. Staff has found that the contract price submitted by Empire through Omnia Partners satisfies the legal requirements of the bidding process, and staff and the Safford Fleet Division budgeted $130,000 for the purchase of this backhoe. Staff recommends the mayor and council authorize the Safford Fleet Division to purchase a backhoe from Empire at Omnia Partners contract price of $120,519.56, which includes the trade-in value of $21,400 for the existing 2005 backhoe. Any questions?
I think a backhoe has a longer life than 10 years, especially when we own a fleet division that maintains our equipment. Nevertheless, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 12.2, purchase of crack sealer.
This is a request for the mayor and council to approve the purchase of a Super Shot 125 diesel crack seal machine from Backhoe. This is a Sourcewell contract price. This is also a City Safford Street Division piece of equipment. We currently have a 99 Backhoe crack sealer and a 2013 Backhoe crack sealer. During our pavement preservation process, or season, both of these units are utilized to get all the streets crack sealed and addressed prior to oiling and chipping. The 99 machine has outlived its useful life and has been an ongoing maintenance problem for quite a few years. Staff has found that the contract price submitted by Backhoe through Sourcewell satisfies all the legal requirements of the bidding process, and the Fleet Division has budgeted $70,000 for the purchase of this crack seal machine. Therefore, staff recommends that the mayor and council authorize the City of Safford Fleet Division to purchase the crack sealer from Backhoe at Sourcewell contract price of $62,994.96.
Motion?
So moved.
Second, any second?
Second.
Any discussion? Go ahead.
I thought I read in the specs that it has an overnight warmer. Does that mean that it's ready first thing in the morning, so you don't have to run it 3 hours first to get it melted down?
That's one benefit of these newer machines. You don't have to wait for it to warm up in the morning. It'll stay warm overnight. So
Yeah, so-
there's a lot of upgrades to these newer machines.
I know there's a lot of lost time. You come in at 5 and you gotta run it 3 hours to melt it, prepare it, and this will take care of that.
Yep, it'll be warm when they get there.
So, man.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Item 3, Cabrina.
Sorry. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here tonight to present to you a little bit more information on the fleet with Enterprise. So this will be comparing our Enterprise fleet option procedures with our current operating procedures. This is a brief review of what Enterprise is offering with their contract. Their contract would be a fluid and flexible agreement with the city that we would agree to or disagree to any transaction with them, and we would have input on any vehicle that is replaced and what that vehicle would be replaced with. The contract would be based vehicle by vehicle. The initial term is 60 months unless we request differently. After 12 months of that 60-month period, we have the option to cancel the contract, in which case the vehicle could be returned back to Enterprise, they would sell it, and then we would get the difference in the cost, or we could ask them to just let us buy the vehicle from them. Enterprise currently has a contract with Kempton Chevrolet to allow them to process their vehicles through Kempton. They were reaching out to other dealerships within the city of Safford and Graham County, and that would allow the city sales tax and the county tax to stay local. The fleet department, our current processes, they perform preventive maintenance on all city vehicles. We currently have 4 budgeted positions to maintain a fleet of 257 vehicles, trailers, and large equipment. Currently, we only have 3 positions filled. During the budget cycle, the fleet department and department directors determine if a vehicle should be replaced, and at which point a rough estimate of that cost is budgeted into the following fiscal year. Departments are charged a replacement fee that would be set aside of that estimated cost for the remainder of the years that we own the vehicle, so that when the time comes, we have that money set there to pay for the vehicle. Fleet currently is using Midway Chevrolet, which is a state contract dealership, to purchase their vehicles. This allows us to purchase these vehicles at the lowest cost available to us. It avoids the cost of going out to bid. And these vehicles are routinely coming through the Phoenix area, which means that the county and the city sales tax stay within that Phoenix area. Police vehicles are purchased and delivered to Safford. Fleet then delivers to MHQ for the outfitting. Once completed, police go to the MHQ to pick it up, and they return it to the fleet department, who then insert the headrest printer and bolt in the toolbox. If we switch to Enterprise, our processes would change slightly so that the fleet department would continue to perform the preventative maintenance on all city vehicles. Enterprise has a dedicated staff that they perform market analysis daily to determine the best time to sell and purchase vehicles so that we are continuing to get the best cost for the city. Instead of charging the fee for the replacement cost of the vehicle to each department, we would just charge the leasing fee instead. Enterprise can purchase vehicles at a lower government rate following through the local dealerships. Like I said, they have a contract with Kempton, and I believe they had reached out to Freedom Ford, and they're reaching out to Dodge. And I believe that Dodge is a go. They liked that idea. With Enterprise, when we order the police vehicles, the police vehicles would be handled, delivery would still continue to be through MHQ for the outfitting, but Enterprise would handle the delivery to MHQ. And the only time that we would have to get involved is when the vehicle is ready for pickup because of the requirements that the police have it when the lights are on. And police would then return the fleet to finish off the headrest, printer, and bolting in the toolbox. So the benefits of the Enterprise program, our sales taxes would remain local, city and county. We have a dedicated staff to monitoring the market for the fleet replacement. Enterprise would manage the due diligence procedures for all purchases. No reduction in staff. Our staff would be able to fully focus on the preventative maintenance, and we would have newer and safer vehicles out on the streets to ensure the safety of not only our employees but our citizens. A vehicle replacement would be 3 to 5 years versus, that was supposed to say a 9 to 17 approximate year replacement that we're currently doing. Replacement costs would be more accurate as they would be occurring sooner, and so we would be able to determine what that cost would be. The fast response and availability of all the vehicles purchases, and there would be no wear and tear penalties or fees on the vehicles that we lease. Do you have any questions?
Go ahead, Councilman Seal.
You mentioned that the vehicles now are being purchased out of town. I know in the past, I think Kempton's used to buy quite a few cars from, vehicles from Kempton. So what changed?
So around 2018, 2019, we were doing the bidding process ourselves. However, we were being outbid by the Phoenix area. So even though we were trying to do the local preference, Phoenix was still outbidding us. They're the lowest, and it's on the state contract. So at that point, we decided to just continue to use the state contract because that would actually save us on the bidding costs as well.
Okay, and these vehicles, the look of this would be fairly new.
Yes.
So do we have the work performed on those under warranty, or do we do all the repairs ourselves?
We would do all the preventative maintenance, but the vehicles would be under warranty.
We would take it to a dealership to have the warranty work done?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I believe when the gentleman was here presenting, he said that he pretty much assured us that our employees would be able to more or less still be able to pick the type of boxes, toolboxes and stuff they wanted on their equipment.
That is correct.
The ones they were most familiar with, the ones they already knew how to work with. Is that still the case?
Yes, we have the option to tell them what vehicles we want, and by doing that, we would be able to tell them what equipment would be going onto it.
And that's not gonna add drastically to the cost, or it's a change order or something like that?
No, it should not. I do believe that John Bell is on the phone if you guys have questions.
Okay.
directly to him.
And I believe Thatcher participates in this, and Pima, did you reach out to them? And
I have not reached out to Thatcher, and I do know that EIC is also utilizing them. And from what I heard from EIC, they do enjoy it.
okay, and I guess the other issue is I'll take up with the manager later, because maintenance of a vehicle struck me not too long ago, and I want to maintain that there's something went haywire, and I want to make sure it has nothing to do with you.
Oh, okay.
So I want to talk to him later, maybe in a work session or something. But the preventive maintenance, I hope it doesn't lack, because we can turn them around so often.
Okay, so, Vice Mayor?
I like the idea, I like the idea, and I especially like the idea that there'd be no reduction in our staff. And then I think another point that was brought up is that the vehicles being newer, there's so many more safety features, and I think that's something very important for our workers too.
Okay, so we need to, I think we got enough direction to move forward with the enterprise. I think the only thing when he presented that he has to show me is how much money we're gonna save in gas. Cause I'm
Yeah, we did.
99% confident he's gonna fail in that area, but I think the rest of it's a pretty good deal. So I would move forward with it.
Okay.
Sabrina, are you satisfied with that bottom line there? Do you think that's truth?
The no wear and tear on the
Yeah.
penalty? Yes, that's true.
John, are you on the phone?
Yes, I am.
So, John Bell, who presented to council in the prior meeting, is on the phone if you have any specific questions about something you want to ask.
It just seems that like streets or somebody who's in the tar all the time, they get in that truck day in and day out. That thing's not gonna,
I asked him specifically about that, and his response was that they're used to dealing with companies, like construction companies or other utility companies. So when the only effect that it's going to have is the resale value, and when they do their cost estimates, they already give you that estimate as being a rough vehicle. So they already take that into account. And they don't tack on any penalties or fees for that. It's just gonna affect your resale.
I know that if I leased a vehicle from them and treated it like our employees do, it would come with a hefty fine at the end of the lease. So
True.
that's what I'm scared of.
No, I specifically asked that,
If
and
we're sure that's not gonna happen, I'm okay with it, but
So who do you have on the phone?
John Bell.
John Bell?
I wanna
the
hear
gen-
him say that that's not gonna happen.
John, did you hear all that, John?
I did, yes. So there are no wear and tear penalties. This is the leases I have proposed are open-ended equity leases. There are no wear and tear penalties. It's very clear in the paperwork. The type of lease that you're thinking of is a close-ended or a net lease, like at a dealership. These are not the type of leases we do with our government partners. So they're two contractually different lease structures. The lease structures I presented are open-ended and have no wear and tear and no mileage penalty.
so that means that he's gonna base what he takes it back at based on how it will sell. So we are gonna pay for it.
Right. If they tear it up, you will pay for it.
Okay. That's what I was afraid of.
But now they're not so busy, so they could do a better job of their inspections every day or their daily logs of how bad the car's being treated or whatever, so maybe they'll figure that out. Right, Arnold?
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
Maybe they'll figure out how to make a van run.
We should be walk around.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thanks, John.
I'm gonna hold off on item 12.4, and I'm gonna go ahead and go on to item 13, announcement of current events. Councilman Anazola?
I'd like to move forward with what Mr. Bell discussed earlier. If that's all right, Mayor, with Tammy?
Yeah, I believe that you said it's gotta come back as a resolution for us to vote on.
It'll be an ordinance, and it's
An
a
ordinance?
new fee, so we'll have to post that for 60 days, and
So-
then I'll bring back the
so
ordinance to go into the code.
The question
for
that I have is,
business
would the council be okay with the reduction of that, or do you wanna actually discuss that item specifically and bring that back at our next council meeting?
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
Huh?
I almost think we have to discuss it separately, don't we?
Not necessarily, she can come back and Tammy can present us a change of the, correct, you can change it
So the one thing
for
that we
special
would,
events,
yeah, so the one thing we would have to agree on before I could post it is the fee.
the fee, of the
Yeah.
reduction of the 25, and with the stipulated, put it on for Friday's work session, so we can have it posted for an actual, deal. So let's put it on our work session, so we can have discussion on it and settle it, the amount and the timeframe, okay?
Sounds good.
So it'll be on this Friday.
But does this also make food trucks, of it?
That's what we're all gonna discuss, we'll have all that whole thing written down,
Okay,
okay?
we just worked that one, so I don't wanna change it
All right.
right now.
Mayor, I got more.
Go ahead.
We have the Hispanic Heritage coming up September 16th at EA at the Lee Little Theater. You're gonna be a speaker there. I'm asking everybody to please attend. It's open up to the public. It's free. We're gonna have mariachis. We're gonna have a church choir from Safford. We're gonna have Mr. Paul David speaking, former Mayor Rivera speaking as one of the keynote speakers. And then we have another event for September 25th, which is gonna be 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. John, did you get that text message in reference to this? Okay. And we're looking to do a good deed for scholarships this year, so
Good.
just keep that in mind, and you're all invited, so.
Okay. How did everybody do at the city leagues and towns? You guys learn stuff?
Yeah.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Guys, get your bellies full? Councilman Lopez?
And I and Mike too, we attended a town hall meeting last Friday. It was about a 2-hour meeting held by the college. And we talked about many things and problems and good things we had going on in the community. There was representatives from other communities, even Supervisor David was there. And we had kind of like open discussions on the floor. And I thought that was a good meeting. So when it comes around again, I'll try to make sure the rest of you go so you can have your input. And it was such a good discussion. I was the quietest one there.
Really?
Yes,
Yes,
he
sir.
was. I can vouch for that.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Were you
And
sick?
so-
Did you have the COVID or something?
It was fine. And also with the weather that we had, I'd like to thank staff for getting out there and getting after it and getting the streets ready and safe and making sure everything was safe. And they worked, I know what it's like to work in them conditions, so I do want to thank all of them that coordinated and worked together. So thank you, staff. I hope you pass it on to the rest of the employees. And then the other thing is, I'm saddened with the passing of Daniel Rios. I think there's maybe a little bit more, say like in the cemetery area or something like that. We can talk over later and see what we can do for our longevity employees and how we can work with them in that area. That's all I have, sir.
Vice Mayor?
I kind of add on to what was said about staff. Want to thank them for the good job they did, but I also would like to thank the citizens, because when I went out, there were a lot of people cleaning the gutters, our regular citizens. So I'd definitely like to say, you know, we have A1 people live in this community, and thank you too.
Well, I guess that's going to be really sad for me to throw out the bad news. I was very disappointed in the streets departments. Our downtown district area has not been cleaned up. We had a big venue there on Main Street this weekend, and it was an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. I think that needs to be addressed, and I think that those street sweepers should be there first thing in the morning, and they should be not only cleaning the streets, but the sidewalk should be clean. Very disappointed, I'll be straight up honest. Did anybody else attend that down there on Main Street this weekend and see what I saw? John, I know you saw it. I know that there are some others there. By the way, Councilman McGoy, thanks for all you did during that storm. You were out there busting your tail too, so we all pitched in, and we all take care of the city because we love the city. That's why we do what we do. With that then, anything else? John?
Just one quick announcement. I wanted to let everybody know that Jamie Embeck is in the audience. Jamie's our new Community Development Director, and she started today.
Well, welcome. So with that, in regards, we are now into 12-4, the city manager evaluation process. I have some stuff that I want to show, but I want to do that in E-session. I believe John has some stuff he wants to show, and he can more than willing to show it now, or you could take it into E-session, but my part that I want to show, I'm going to ask you to step out. Okay? So, what do you guys want to do? Council?
Let's go into E-session.
Okay. Thank you. We'll be back.
Give me a minute.
back in
regular
session.
Then I move that we adjourn.
Have a motion?
Second.
Any opposed?